Time to read. Oh, cool. Can make a snow. Mama, can I make a snow angel?
You can if it snows enough.
Can I make a snow angel?
If it snows enough, you can.
Yeah, could I go outside?
Welcome back, friends. I was going to title this video Happy New Year, but obviously we are almost done with January. We didn't have the smoothest start to our new year. After Christmas, we kept getting sick with different things, the last of which was RSV. Our whole family came down with RSV, and thankfully everybody is on the up and up now, but that was part of what delayed the video. And then also CapCut went down right after I finished color grading all these clips. CapCut went down, so there's been a few snags in getting this video out to you. Hopefully everybody will stay well. We're getting warmer weather now. We're going to soak up as much of that vitamin D as we can, hopefully to ward off any sickness, because I am so done with the sick season. But I wanted to talk about some of my New Year's intentions for this year. And some of them are New Year's intentions, and some of them are just new habits that I want to create, whether it's the new year or not. I talked about this a little bit on Instagram a few weeks ago, but I feel like as a homemaker, I tend to just constantly keep going all day long and feel like I'm just running in place and not getting anything done. And I was in a place of overwhelm. And so I made myself a bit of a new system, and then we got sick. And the new system kind of went out the window because we were in pure survival mode for a few weeks. But I did want to talk about the new system and new habits I'm trying to create, and then tell you about some of my intentions. But one thing that seems to be an issue for me is I struggle with getting up early before the kids get up. And that's one thing that I am having to change, is I'm trying to push myself to get up early. And my ideal time to get up would be 5:30, because that's when my husband gets up. But I've been really struggling with that lately. But I've been still trying to get up before the kids get up and get my workout in, because I'm finding at the end of the day there is just, I don't have the energy to work out. So I've been trying to get up early and get my workout in and get ready for the day, get a shower, do my devotions. Anything I can get done before the kids wake up really helps me get a good jump start on the day. So that's one habit that I'm looking to start. I also sat down back in December and I I typed out on my husband's computer a whole list of meal ideas: breakfast, lunch, dinner. And I also typed out some things that I want to try to learn to make from scratch this year, because one of my intentions this year is to try to cook more from scratch, try to cook better meals, try to learn a few new things in the kitchen. And so I typed out an entire list of meal ideas and things that I want to make from scratch. And then I also made myself a meal plan for the month. So I typed out all the meals for January. week by week. So we kind of got off track a little bit because of being sick, and within being sick, my husband was working 12-hour shifts one after the other due to the snow that we had. So we kind of got off track a little bit, but we did follow it loosely, and I'm going to try to follow it more closely in February. But I have a little mini dry erase board on the refrigerator, so week by week I've got that to put what that week's meals are. And having it already written out for the month, which I need to sit down and do February's, but having them all written out for the month already ahead of time helps me with the grocery list. It helps me kind of eliminate some of that thought process because it's already done. So I need to sit down now and do February's, and I'll just look at the list of meals that I had on there, on the food list. I'll look at all the meal ideas and then make my meal plan from there. And I also had a section on there for crock pot meals for Sundays. So I'm hoping that that will help me, because one of the areas that I've really struggled with in last year was staying on top of meal planning and cooking. And I do love to sit down and look at cookbooks for inspiration whenever I am lacking ideas. And Pinterest is great, but sometimes if you look up like easy meal ideas on Pinterest, all it does is give you a bunch of links to blogs, and I don't necessarily want to do that. So I do have my favorite cookbooks that I will look through, especially if I'm looking for recipes to make from scratch. So I do enjoy doing that if I get kind of caught in a slump. The other habit that I am trying to develop is following a cleaning schedule and kind of a daily routine. So I wrote out a cleaning schedule, and I wrote out a time-stamped daily routine. And I'm going to hold it loosely. I'm going to try not to hold it too loosely, because I'm somebody who the slightest little thing can derail me from a routine. Example, the sickness that we've had in our house really messed me up on my new goals. I followed it really well for a week, and then we got sick, and then it all kind of went out the window. But I'm trying to get back to some of that now that we're feeling better, and really just pushing forward. That's what you have to do. You just have to push forward. And the great thing about being a homemaker is, you set the rules, you set the tone. If something's not working, you have the power to change it. And that's really one of the big things for me is I tend to get overwhelmed, and then I tend to blame it on this or that or this or that. And it's just the cavalry is not coming. It's you. This comes down to you being more disciplined and more structured. And so I wrote out those two lists. The cleaning schedule is like a Monday through Saturday, and I kept it simple. I didn't put anything too difficult or unattainable on there. But I put it on the refrigerator next to the meal plan, and then I put the daily routine on the refrigerator under that, so that I have them in front of me, because I have tried to do this before and written it all down in a notebook and never looked at it again. So having it on the refrigerator, I'm hoping will help me. I have all kinds of ideas for this year, and I wouldn't call them all New Year's resolutions or even intentions, but I have a lot of ideas, and there are a few things that I want to try my hand at. One of them I've already mentioned, which is cooking from scratch, trying to make better meals, and trying my hand at a few new things. I want to try to make marshmallows. I've never done that. I've seen people do that, and it looks really interesting, so I want to make marshmallows. I did have a sourdough starter started again, and I wasn't sure I was doing it right, and usually it's fine, but something about this one was a little too funky, and I was afraid I was going to poison us all, so I got rid of it. And I'm thinking about getting some einkorn flour, because I've been hearing the praises of einkorn flour and seeing if maybe I can start a sourdough starter with that, and try to make some bread and more homemade baked goods like that. And then also I've decided, a bit on a whim, back in November or December, I got the itch to garden, and I am no green thumb. I just am not. I have some houseplants that I've been able to keep alive, and I have perennials in my yard, like bulbs, such as irises, daffodils, And then I have like azalea bushes, a hydrangea bush, things that I don't really have to do a lot for, I can keep alive. But plants that have to actively be taken care of, I'm not that great at them. I always let my hanging baskets die. I've tried tomato plants and I've let them die. But this year, I really feel the gardening itch. And I don't know if that's because I just turned 29, but I am feeling the gardening bug. And I just want to be outside and I want to get in the dirt. And I'm itching for that. It's strange for me to say because I like winter usually and I love snow, but I am so ready for spring. So I have plans to try my hand at a perennial garden bed and an herb garden bed. And I have a whole list of ideas for my yard. There are a lot of dead trees and shrubbery, and we had a tree fall that needs to be cleaned up, a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. And I have design ideas for my yard, and I don't know that I'll get to all of them, but I definitely want to try as many as possible. So I have a lot of plans and intentions to get in my yard and really work on some things and really try to be a better gardener. And we're going to try it out without vegetables because I'm really not sure that I can keep vegetables alive. If I do well with the herbs and the flower bed, then we will see next year or maybe in the fall. But one of my big issues is watering. And so I think the way that I'm going to fix the issue of watering the garden is I'm going to get an irrigation sprinkler to put between the two raised beds and hook it to the water hose. And that way I can turn the water hose on instead of having to lug buckets up to the top. Because our yard is not big, but it's a little uphill walk to where the garden beds will be. And just a watering can is just not enough for that. And it gets so hot here in the middle of the summer. So I'm hoping that will help me. I need 2 new garden hoses because we have 0 garden hoses. But I do want to work in the yard this year. And I also have some plans inside the house. There are projects that I want to do. There's some painting that I need to do, some light fixtures that need to be replaced. We live in a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. And I think our house is just around or maybe just under 1,500 square feet as far as livable space. I'm not sure if that includes the carport or not. So our house it's not tiny, but it's also not large. And there are 4 of us. But the way the real estate market is, I really don't see us moving anytime soon, if ever. I have lots of big ideas about adding on to our house so that we can stay here forever. So we will see where that goes. But I've just decided that I am going to do all the projects to make this house my beautiful oasis however I can. And if we end up selling it one day, then it'll all just add value to the house. And if not, then I get to enjoy it forever. But all of those things are kind of what my intentions are with the new year. I have a whole garden full of ideas in my head, and I'm just hoping that I can carry out some of them. I probably won't get to all of them, but I do want to carry out some of them. And I also, want to create better habits and really strive for excellence in my home. So those are my intentions for 2025. If you want to let me know what your intentions and resolutions are in the comments, I would love to hear them. I hope you all had a great new year. I will be back with another video. I'm hoping to get on more of a roll now that we're all feeling well. But I apologize for the big delay in posting. But I hope that you all have a great week, and I will talk to you in my next video.